22% of the taxes in this country and about 30% of the GDP of this country. So this organization is like a think tank, like an organization which lobbies for various issues as well. So in that capacity, as the chief executive of this chamber right now, we have access to various surveys, very focused surveys, various perception surveys from members. And we also conduct some research for the benefit of the members as well as the government. And one of the recent research that we have done, which I would like to share with you, along with my observation from the foreign investors, is called Business Confidence Index. And this is very latest. The results that I will share later is about February this year. And that is on an overall basis, how the business people, barring the agriculture, so they represent the views of 80% of the GDP of this country. Okay, with this preamble, let me directly land into the subject under discussion as to how 2011 is perceived by, firstly, the overseas chamber members. All in all, as Fareed Saab rightly mentioned, that the economy as such is not as bad as some of us may feel. Recently, for example, if you notice, about 400 to 500 billion rupees has been pumped into the rural economy in the form of agricultural proceeds. Similarly, you have to also keep in mind that the floods which destroyed the infrastructure of this country back in July, August, the economy is just recovering from there. So when we talk of 2011, I'm talking not of the fiscal year 2011, because that is doom and gloom, but we are talking of the 2011 as a calendar year. And that's where, talking of the foreign investors, by and large, our members have done very well, and those who are quoted on the stock exchange, you have seen their results. They have performed quite well, substantially well in certain sectors. In certain sectors like oil and gas, obviously, for the obvious reasons, the circular debt issue and all those, that is affecting their performance. Now, talking of the future, as to 2011, the feedback is generally positive. We think that things are going to improve. We probably have seen the worst, which we did in terms of indecision, in terms of not taking action. And the major reason for our hope is that we see some element of recognition in the people who make decisions, that we have to focus on the economy and on the business as well. Now, in terms of the surveys that we did, and I'll be available to answer you more questions during the question and answer session. Now, the interesting thing is that I'm going to now share with you the results of the Business Confidence Index. As I said, this covers the entire Pakistan, and it does not is not confined to members of the overseas chamber. There again, obviously the mood is still negative, but it is less negative than it was a quarter back, because we monitor it on a quarterly basis and we share it with both the government and the media as well. There is some optimism, sense of optimism in the public, that they are hoping that situation will improve, not necessarily substantially. Among the sectors which are more optimistic is services sector, and among the services sector also, it is the financial sector. That is financial sector and food manufacturing are the only sectors who have, and automobile as well, who have shown fairly high degree of optimism, and have also, when we ask the question about will you hire more people, will you have employment, or will you have redundancies, these are the two sectors. Financial certainly have come out and they have plans to hire more people. In terms of the issues that we asked as to what do you think are the major issues that is affecting you, which is not necessarily part of this discussion, but just to share with you. The priority number one that people are saying is the poor governance in this country. Secondly, they are saying inflation, and not surprisingly, power and corruptions comes next. So these are the people feedback on the issues. Incidentally, we also asked a question in this survey as to what do you think should be done to curb this tax evasion in this country. And the overwhelming answer was that take care of the taxpayers who are already paying taxes. So anyway, coming back to the subject, I leave with a note that there is slight sense of optimism in the environment, lot dependent on the hope that the government and the people who are involved in decision making will take decisions. And I think some of us may not like it, but the 15th March action also supports some of the views that we have taken. With this, I'll pass on to you.
Thank you, Nimsa. Clearly, the signs of optimism and, as I said, a mixed bag of data at times. Beg Saab?
Ji, Assalamu alaikum. I'm a bit more of an optimist, and I'd say pragmatic in the sense that, many of the issues we have in Pakistan, whether it's governance, corruption, issues like that, law and order, these are things we've been used to. We are running businesses, we are involved with businesses, and most of the businesses are doing well. All of us factor these issues into account while getting into those businesses, and really there's not too much to complain about. Yes, things could be better, and we do better than what we are doing, but really at the end of the day, one has to look at the lay of the land and say, fine, this is the environment we have to do businesses, and we adjust ourselves. Two challenges I would say that would concern me. One which is sort of beyond our control, which are the international oil prices. If they go beyond the current levels significantly, those certainly would cause a Pakistan-like economy serious stress. And we've seen that happen a few years ago, and it can impact us very adversely. The other challenge is the government deficit that seems to be growing, and the related sort of circular debt, the commodity debt, etc., and basically the government taking away bulk of the money from the private sector and really sort of creating a lot of stress and pressure on that score. And not only that, then going out and borrowing from the central bank, and therefore effectively printing new money, which is the root cause of the inflation we face, which can ultimately also convert into an exchange rate, adverse exchange rate adjustment, which means we would then import more inflation, especially in terms of the energy imports. So in that sense, those are the two challenges I see for an average business house. For the particular business I run, I am basically into managing other people's money, which means I'm trying to get other people to give me their money to manage, and I'm competing with the government of Pakistan. The government of Pakistan wants everyone's money, and they're likely to win. So that for me, for my business, is a very serious challenge. So despite the fact that there is optimism in the financial services sector, I personally see this as a serious challenge then when I have to compete with a government which prints money, guarantees payments, whereas I have to deliver returns out of a very choppy and volatile marketplace.